Before your eyes even open, the world has already sent its invitations to worry, to rush, to scroll. What if I told you that the most important battle of your day is fought and won not in the chaos of the world, but in the sacred silence of the first 5 minutes you were awake? For centuries, Buddhist masters have told that the quality of your entire life can be determined by the quality of your morning mind. The secret isn't a complex ritual or a demanding practice. It's a simple, profound shift in the very first words you choose to speak to yourself. It's about reclaiming your soul before the world has a chance to grab your attention. In this video, we will journey together through 5 powerful truths to declare to yourself each morning. These aren't just positive affirmations, they are declarations of freedom, rooted in timeless wisdom and deep inner transformation. And the fifth one might just be the key that unlocks everything you've been holding on to. Stay with us on this journey. 1. I am not my thoughts. I am the silence beneath them. Every morning, before the sun has a chance to fully rise, the world rushes in. A quiet storm begins to brew in our heads before our eyes even open. It's a whirlwind of phantom conversations, to-do lists written in adrenaline, worries carried over from yesterday, and anxious expectations for the day ahead. And so, most people begin to suffer before they've even left the comfort of their bed, not from any pain in the body, but from the relentless noise in the mind. This internal storm silently steals our peace before the day has even begun. But the first, most fundamental truth you must tell yourself each morning is this: I am not my thoughts. I am the silence beneath them. This statement sounds deceptively simple, yet it holds the power to completely shift the foundation of your entire day. You see, in many Buddhist teachings, the mind is compared to a restless monkey, constantly jumping from one branch to another, never still, chattering endlessly. It swings from past regrets to future fears, from judgments to desires, in a chaotic dance. But beyond the monkey's frantic chaos, there is always the sky, vast, silent, boundless, and utterly undisturbed. That sky is your true self. The mind thinks, the mind judges, the mind predicts, the mind reacts. But you, the real you, are the one who observes all of this. When you begin your day by unconsciously identifying with your thoughts, you tie your soul to their turbulent fluctuations. If your thoughts are anxious, you become anxious. If they are self-critical, you carry shame into your shower. If they are fearful, you walk into your day with a constricted heart. But none of that is truly you. You are the vast, open space that holds the thoughts, not the fleeting thoughts themselves. This is why most people suffer before breakfast. They never pause to notice this distinction. They wake up already inside their mind, already believing the morning narrative it spins for them. Their thoughts are a torrent. I didn't sleep enough. I'm already behind schedule. Today is going to be so difficult. Without knowing it, they allow their mind to speak first and their spirit to listen second. A mindful morning, a powerful day, is built by reversing that order. Let your spirit speak first. Before the mental chatter solidifies, gently tell yourself, I am not these thoughts. I am the stillness watching them pass. This single truth changes everything, because once you create that sliver of space, just a single moment of conscious awareness, you are no longer trapped inside the storm. You are sitting calmly beside it, like a monk beneath a Bodhi tree, unmoved by the howling wind. When you learn to observe instead of automatically reacting, you give yourself the precious gift of choice. This is the core of what meditation teaches us: not to suppress the mind or to wage war against our thoughts, but to simply witness them without attachment. The suffering begins the moment we become our thoughts, believing them blindly and allowing them to define our inner state. But liberation begins the moment we can see them gently and remember that we are the seer, not the seeing. You are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness that hears it. And the more you learn to rest in that silent awareness, the more power you reclaim from the restless mind. So, tomorrow morning, before the world has a chance to storm the gates of your mind, I invite you to try this. Pause, sit at the edge of your bed, close your eyes, take one deep, conscious breath, and speak this truth quietly to your own heart. I am not my thoughts. I am the silence beneath them. That one truth, held for just a moment, is enough to begin rewriting the script of your life, because the way you begin your day ultimately becomes the way you live your life. Can you sit with your mind without becoming it? That is the real question. Don't rush to answer it. Just carry it with you like a lantern in the early, quiet hours. Let it guide your morning, soften your reactions, and bring you back home to the silent, peaceful place where you always, truly belong to. Everything I need already exists within me. In the early hours, when the light is still soft and the world is just beginning to stir, a very subtle but powerful illusion creeps into the mind. It is a quiet lie that whispers, "You are not enough." It often arrives before your feet even touch the ground. A fleeting thought that insists you must become more, achieve more, acquire more, and prove more, simply to be worthy. And in that moment, the chase begins. But before you take the first step of the day, before you reach for your phone or start your to-do list, pause and remember this profound truth: everything I need already exists within me. Buddhism teaches that much of our suffering, or dukkha, begins the moment we believe that something outside of ourselves will complete us. The moment we forget our own inherent wholeness, we start grasping. We grasp at success, at approval from others, at romantic love, at validation in all its forms. This grasping becomes an exhausting, self-perpetuating loop. We run toward things thinking they will finally fill an inner emptiness, only to find that the more we run, the more distant peace becomes. This is because peace can never be found in external things. It is already present within us, like the still, deep water that lies beneath the restless waves on the surface. In the morning, this illusion of lack is often at its strongest. It's there when you scroll through the highlight reels of other people's lives. It's in the mental checklist of all the things you haven't done yet. It's in the voice of comparison, the sting of self-doubt, and the frantic rush to be more. But when you pause, take a breath, and speak to yourself with conviction, everything I need is already here. You break the spell, you consciously return to a state of sufficiency. This is not the arrogant sufficiency of the ego, but the quiet, unshakable knowing of the soul. It is the knowing that all the qualities you seek outside, wisdom, strength, compassion, clarity, love, already live within you, waiting to be remembered and activated. Imagine a single, tiny seed. From the outside, it looks small, dry, and insignificant, but held within that tiny form lies the complete blueprint and potential of an entire, magnificent forest. You are that seed, and yet, most of us forget this. We live our lives like seeds that are desperately seeking a forest, looking for light and nourishment outside of ourselves, without realizing that the sun we seek also rises within us. The more you rely on the world to tell you who you are, the more power you give away. But when you learn to turn inward for your sense of worth, you reclaim it all. Letting go of the need for external validation is not about becoming cold or indifferent to others. It is about becoming rooted. When you are rooted in your own enoughness, you walk through the world not as a beggar with an empty bowl, but as a king or queen with gifts to share. You don't chase love, you embody it. You don't seek your worth, you express it. So, each morning, before the noise of the world begins, return to this truth. I invite you to place a hand on your heart, close your eyes, breathe gently, and remind yourself with deep sincerity, everything I need already exists within me. Let those words sink in like warm, golden light into your very bones. Before you begin to chase, do you know what you already carry? Sit with that question, let it unravel the illusions of lack. Let it open the door to required, profound strength that has been inside you all along. Because the world will always ask you to be more, but peace only asks you to remember that you already are. 3. Nothing outside me has the power to disturb my peace. There is the quiet, indomitable strength that lives inside you. It is a strength not born from force or aggression, but from profound stillness. Each morning, as the world begins to stir, so too do its energies. Chaos, noise, demands, and expectations begin to rise like a tide. In your day, some people will come to you with their anger, some will bring their judgment, some will simply be moving through life trapped in their own personal storm. And without awareness, like a sponge, you will absorb it all. But here is a truth that can act as your sacred shield, a declaration that can change your entire day. Nothing outside me has the power to disturb my peace. You are not a sponge, meant to soak up the moods and anxieties of others. You are a mirror, meant to reflect what is shown to you without becoming attached to the reflection. In Buddhist philosophy, we learn that our suffering often comes not from what happens to us, but from how we choose to carry what happens. The moment you internalize another person's chaos, the moment you allow their storm to enter your own heart, you lose your center. In that moment of emotional reaction, you hand over your precious inner stillness. But peace, true and lasting peace, is built by reclaiming that power. To live with a calm heart in a chaotic world is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of mastery. The mistake many people make is believing that detachment means emotional coldness or indifference. It does not. Spiritual detachment is not a closing of the heart, but a radical opening of awareness. It is the ability to love others without losing yourself. It is helping without holding on to the outcome. It is listening deeply to another's pain without absorbing that pain as your own. Imagine a deep, still lake. Stones may be thrown into it, creating ripples on the surface. Winds may blow across it, creating waves, but the great, silent depths of the lake remain completely undisturbed. This is the practice you are invited to cultivate. Let the world touch the surface of your life, but never let it shake your deep inner foundation. You are not responsible for the weather patterns of other people's minds. Their anger is not your anger. Their fear is not your fear. Their projections and judgments do not and cannot define you. What truly defines you is how you return to yourself after being pulled. Can you choose to breathe instead of automatically reacting? Can you witness their storm without becoming a part of it? Can you remain soft and open even when the world around you is sharp and closed? These are not small questions. These are the very paths to liberation. Each morning, you get to choose. Will you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? Or will you walk through it with a rooted, unshakable calm? The first path creates tension, anxiety, and exhaustion. The second creates freedom, clarity, and strength. Say this to yourself gently, as the reminder, a mantra. Nothing outside me has the power to disturb my peace. Let it be a reminder not just of your resilience, but of a fundamental truth. Because no one can enter the quiet sanctuary of your mind unless you hold the door open for them. No one can steal your calm unless you forget that it is yours to protect. As your day unfolds, you will inevitably face noise, but noise only becomes suffering when you hold it tightly. Practice letting it pass like clouds through the vast sky of your awareness. Like wind through an open field, respond with love, but anchor yourself in stillness. Speak with clarity, but root yourself in silence. Return again and again to the breath, to your center, to that quiet, untouched place within. What if your calm was your greatest act of rebellion in a frantic world? What if your soft presence, your unshaken peace, became your most powerful and healing offering to others? Let that be your path. Let peace become your default state, not a distant reward, because the most sacred thing you can ever protect is your own inner quiet. This brings us to our fourth great truth, a principle designed to combat the most pervasive illness of our time, the disease of hurry. Most people wake up already running, not with their feet, but with their minds. The pressure begins before the eyes are fully open. There are tasks to complete, messages to reply to, and responsibilities waiting like an army outside the bedroom door. But there is another way to walk through the day. It is a way that intentionally replaces the frantic, depleting energy of pressure with the deep, grounded power of presence, and learning how to make that conscious choice is precisely what we will explore next. And this leads us to our fourth great truth, a powerful antidote to the most pervasive illness of our time, the disease of hurry. Most people wake up already running, not with their feet, but with their minds, instantly caught in a web of pressure. But there is another way to walk through the day. A way that intentionally replaces the frantic, depleting energy of pressure with the deep, grounded power of presence, and learning how to make that conscious choice is precisely what we will explore now. For today, I choose presence over pressure. It is so easy to forget that our mornings are sacred. They are not meant to be immediately consumed by a sense of urgency, but are instead a precious opportunity to anchor ourselves in clarity and peace. This is the truth to carry into the dawn of each new day. Today, I choose presence over pressure. When you rush your morning, you rush your life. You begin the day not as a mindful, conscious being, but as a machine, reacting, hurrying, checking, chasing. It's the feeling of being a cog on an assembly line of your own making, where your worth is measured only in tasks completed, and before you've even had a chance to take your second conscious breath. The day is already in control of you, pulling you along in its chaotic current. But Buddhism reminds us again and again to simply return. Return to your breath. Return to this moment, because this moment is the only place where life truly and actually lives. The Buddha once profoundly said, "The trouble is, you think you have time. We so often live as if our real life is waiting for us somewhere down the road, after the inbox is cleared, after the meeting finally ends, after we've accomplished just one more thing." But life doesn't begin when the to-do list is done. Life is happening now. It is happening in this single inhale, and in this single exhale. It is in the quiet, simple sip of tea, in a solitary ray of sunlight warming your skin. And when we forget that, when we sacrifice the now for the later, we lose the very thing we are working so hard to find: peace. Pressure is most often just an illusion, a ghost disguised as urgency. It is a story the mind tells that convinces us that rushing is essential, that multitasking is a strength, and that feeling constantly overwhelmed is a sign that we're achieving something important. But pressure only ever pulls us away from ourselves. It disconnects us from the softness and beauty of the present moment. It blinds us to the quiet, everyday miracles happening all around us, the sound of a child's laughter from the next room, the impossible beauty of the early morning sky, the calm, simple joy of doing just one thing with your whole heart. Presence, on the other hand, is your true home. It asks for nothing from you but your gentle attention. It requires no performance, no perfection, just your simple willingness to show up fully to what is here. Right now, the mind will always want to wander. It will time travel to the future, to the past, to anywhere but now. But your strength lies in your ability to gently, kindly bring it back to this breath, back to this moment, back to this single step, back to this one precious life. So when the morning arrives, do not begin with your phone. Do not begin with your to-do list. Begin with a breath. Begin with a sacred pause. Place a hand on your heart and feel its steady rhythm. Speak to yourself with kindness and conviction. Today, I choose presence over pressure. And then, simply notice what happens. The knot of urgency in your chest begins to soften. The mental noise begins to fade into the background, and you begin to move through your day, not from a place of stress, but from a place of deep, centered awareness. You will still take care of what needs to be done, but you will move with grace, not panic, with rhythm, not rush. Ask yourself this question: am I truly living my life, or am I just checking off items on my to-do list? This question is not meant to be a burden. It's a doorway. It is a gentle opening that invites you to step out of the trance of unconscious busyness and into the vibrant reality of conscious living. Let your mornings be a reminder of what really matters, not how much you accomplish, but how deeply you live. Because presence isn't just a practice for your meditation cushion. It's a way of returning, again and again, to what's real, to what's sacred, and to what's already here. 5. I am letting go so life can flow. Each morning gives you a quiet, fundamental choice to hold tight or to release. And most of us, without even noticing, begin the day already clinging. We cling to our plans, to our expectations, to our rigid ideas of how we think the day should unfold. Before the sun has even fully risen, the heart can feel tangled, the mind already attached to outcomes, and the soul already tired from the effort of trying to control the uncontrollable. But here is a truth that can gently set you free, a truth that can untie the knots in your heart. I am letting go so life can flow. Attachment is a quiet kind of prison. You may not see the bars, but you can feel its weight. It is the constant, low-grade need to control, the subtle fear of change, the desire to predict and shape the day just right. This white-knuckled grip on life inevitably creates a deep inner tension. Buddhism teaches that suffering, or dukkha, begins precisely where attachment takes root. The moment you declare, "This must happen this way," you invite fear into your heart, the fear that it won't. The moment you say, "I can't let this go," you invite resistance, and resistance, no matter how well it hides, always brings stress and struggle. But life, like a great and wise river, was never meant to be forced or controlled. It was meant to be followed, to be trusted. Your plans, your hopes, your dreams, they matter deeply, but they are meant to be a rudder, not an anchor. They are meant to guide you, not to chain you to a single outcome. When you cling too tightly to how you think things should be, you often block the very things that are trying to unfold for your highest good. You miss the quiet beauty and the hidden lessons in things not going your way. Because sometimes, when life presents a detour, it isn't punishing you. It is lovingly guiding you in a new and better direction. But to see that clearly, you have to be willing to loosen your grip. Letting go does not mean giving up. It is not an act of passivity or resignation. It is an act of profound wisdom and strength. It means stepping into the flow of life and trusting a wisdom that is greater than your own limited ego. In the East, they say the bamboo bends with the wind, not because it is weak, but because its flexibility is its strength. It knows how to yield, how to stay rooted yet pliable, and so it does not break. You can learn that too, to bend, to trust, to let go, and in that surrender, you do not lose your power. You discover a deeper, more resilient kind of it. There is more real power in the one who can release with grace than in the one who holds on out of fear. To start your day with the courage to let go is to open your hands and your heart to welcome what life truly has in store for you. Not just what your limited mind expected. So, speak softly to your soul as the day begins. I release the need to control. I let go of how I thought things had to be. I allow life to lead me. Let these words be your compass. Let them create a spaciousness in your chest. Let them bring you back to a place of deep trust. Because here is the beautiful truth. The more you loosen your grip, the more your life begins to flow with an effortless grace. Like breath, like water, like time, you begin to move with life instead of constantly struggling against it. You learn to respond instead of resist. You learn to bend instead of break. You welcome what arrives, and you bless what leaves. If you let go of what you're desperately clinging to right now, who might you become? A softer version of yourself, a freer one, a wiser one. Carry that question in your heart today. Let it slowly and gently untie the knots inside you. Let it guide the way you choose, the way you speak, and the way you move through this day. Because the most beautiful things in life, peace, joy, true love, they don't come to us through control. They come to us through flow. So as this day unfolds, trust the river, trust the detours, trust the still moments, and above all, trust yourself to let go and still remain whole. Summary of the 5 morning truths. Let us now gently gather the 5 truths we have explored, like 5 precious jewels to carry with you into your day. First, I am not my thoughts. I am the silence beneath them. Remember that your thoughts are not facts. They are just passing weather in the vast sky of your awareness. Observe them without judgment, and in that space of observation, you will find your freedom. Second, everything I need already exists within me. Awaken not to a feeling of lack, but to the deep, inner knowing of your own wholeness. Peace, strength, wisdom, and clarity are not things you need to find. They are things you need to remember are already there. Third, nothing outside of me has the power to disturb my peace. No person, no situation, and no outcome can truly control your emotional state unless you give it permission. Let your peace be your default state, and protect it like sacred ground. Fourth, today I choose presence over pressure. Resist the magnetic pull of urgency and hurry. Slow down, breathe deeply. Remember that your true strength and effectiveness lie not in rushing, but in moving through your day with a calm and centered awareness. And fifth, I am letting go, so life can flow. Gently release your tight grip on controlling everything. Holding on creates stress. Letting go opens the door to peace, clarity, and the beautiful, natural unfolding of your unique path. Conclusion and invitation. There is a quiet strength, a profound power that comes from meeting the morning with stillness instead of stress. The world will always pull you in 1,000 different directions, but if you speak these truths to your heart right at the start of the day, everything begins to shift. You no longer need to react to life from a place of fear. You can learn to respond from a place of deep, centered clarity. These 5 truths are more than just words. They are inner alignments. They are gentle, daily reminders that peace isn't something you find out there. It's something you remember within. When spoken with presence and sincerity, they become anchors in the storm, capable of turning your mornings from a source of anxiety into a sacred ritual of healing, strength, and purpose. As a Zen teaching says, when the mind is still, the truth has a chance to speak. Begin each day by listening within, and then watch, with gentle curiosity, how the world around you begins to reflect your own inner calm. If this message has brought you a moment of clarity or a feeling of peace, don't keep it to yourself. Your journey can be an inspiration to others. Like this video to help it find its way to more people who are quietly searching for peace. In the comments below, I invite you to share your favorite of these 5 morning truths, the one your heart needed to hear the most today. Your reflection is a gift to our entire community. And finally, subscribe to our channel for more gentle, timeless wisdom on the arts of living with a quiet mind and an open heart. Thank you for your presence and for walking this path with us today. May your mornings and your life be filled with peace.